Hi, everyone. This is Hal Krosman with Screenwriting U. And today we're going to be talking about how to write your TV series with AI. Now, I want you to know up front, it doesn't say how to have your TV series written by AI because that's not what we're doing. We don't believe in replacing writers. We don't believe that AI is actually a good enough writer right now to be able to do that. What we do believe in is you becoming the best writer you can be and being able to use the tools that are available to you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today as we go through this, because there's still a lot of people out there who don't realize that this is just a creative tool. And it's an amazing one, but it's like no different than using your screenplay software. If you use Final Draft or Movie Magic or one of the screenplay softwares out there, it's no different than using a database. Like if you go to IMDb Pro and you use a database to look up producers. In this case, though, we're using a tool that is able to create in amazing ways. And right now, you're still ahead of this whole thing. So you're going to love this. So what we're going to talk about today, where is AI right now and what's really possible with it? Uh, then I'll show you the binge-worthy TV model, at least part of it, so that you can see what I consider to be the highest level model there is at the present moment for TV writing. It is based on exactly what the streamers need, which is probably where the majority of the television shows are going to be going. So, and then I'll do a demonstration and I'll take you through and just show you some of the ways AI can create and help you brainstorm really high quality stuff and at an incredible speed. So if you haven't actually seen this before, if you haven't seen, what AI really can do for writing, you'll be blown away with it. And then we'll talk about how to write the best TV series of your life. So, and we'll be talking about the upcoming Binge-Worthy TV class. That is the place where you can double, triple, or quadruple your understanding of writing TV and make sure that you really do have all the skills you need to be able to move into this industry. So let's start with this innovation. And by the way, I've got some stuff going on with my throat, so I'm going to be drinking stuff as we go. Any disrupting innovation changes the landscape. I was around when screenplay software came in. We actually were the very first ones, Cheryl and I were the very first ones to introduce Movie Magic Screenwriter at the Austin Film Festival. And I stood out there and demonstrated it for about, 600 writers, of which many of them were saying things like, that's cheating, it's wrong, you shouldn't be doing this. Whatever happened to just using a typewriter, all the things that people say. But that innovation changed things. Now everybody is using it. Let me show you another innovation that changed things. We started with this. You may still have one of these things in your house. We actually have a landline, but I haven't even answered it for 6 months, so I don't even know if it works. And then some really smart group of people came out with this, the iPhone, the Android, whatever it is, and the BlackBerry before that. When they did that, they disrupted the phone market, right? And they disrupted it in a whole bunch of ways. But my guess is you have one of these now. And the reason you have one of these was because the early adopters tried them out. They fell in love with them. They told everybody you should get one. You started seeing them on TV on a regular basis. People were talking about them. And at some point along the way, you went, all right, let me give it a try. And my guess is you wouldn't part with yours right now for anything. Although there may be times when you use it a little too much, who knows? But here's the other thing to know about this. It's not just this. Look at this. They've created over 2 million apps for the iPhone that now you can do so many things with it that didn't exist. So listen, we're in the still early stages of this thing about AI and what it can do. On our end, I'm not. We've been working with it for 6 months. I actually was going to come out with a class right before the WGA said they were going to strike. I was going to come out with a class about how to use AI for writing. But let's just walk through this so you can see, it's going to have the same impact on the writing world. It already is. You may or may not know about it. Our job is to stay ahead of it. And this is where you want to be. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you up front, there are still a lot of people out there. It's really, truly, we're at, I'd say, 90% of writers have not even stepped into AI yet. You can get ahead of this thing right now. And by the way, some of those writers are saying that it's cheating and all the things they said about every innovation that came along when they hadn't adopted it yet. So let me show you the adoption curve here. This is for a new paradigm. Before most people ever even hear about something, in the early stages, the innovators, the people who are the tech enthusiasts, the ones who are behind the scenes creating it, they adopt it. They jump into it and they go, oh my God, this is where life is going. I need to be part of this, right? Then the visionaries step in. And I'd say we stepped in right over here. As soon as this thing was introduced, I got on with a development team, one of our development teams, and we spent about 4 hours working on it together. We spent the next 3 days trying out all kinds of things. We came back together and went, all right, there's some incredible things you can do with this. And we began creating. So we actually have become some of the innovators when it comes to screenwriting with AI. And most of what people are concerned about, we don't even think about. We don't do. We're not part of that. We're way beyond that. We started developing over here. I'd say where the world is right now, the world's a little further along, but where writing is writing is probably still right in here. There's still, the majority of people still haven't yet adopted this, and that gives you a huge opportunity. You get a chance to step in and still learn it and use it before everybody is doing it. Now, what comes next is the pragmatists. This is the early majority. These are the people who, are willing to try something new. They didn't quite fit in here. They didn't quite jump in yet, but they're willing to try something new if enough people have told them it works, right? Today, you're going to get a chance to see how this works. So, and if you really need proof that it's going to work and all that kind of thing, you'll get it today, and you can join us. And then the conservatives, and this doesn't mean political party, by the way. These are the ones that won't try something until everybody else is already doing it. And that's okay. I understand. They're waiting until they feel comfortable with it. And then finally, we have the skeptics. And the skeptics, these are the people who back in the early stages, were saying, no, if you use it, you'll go to hell. It's like, it's wrong, don't do it. They're the ones that almost any new innovation that comes out, they're against it. So just know, sooner or later, even the people who are telling you that AI is wrong, sooner or later, they will be using it. It will happen because this innovation is not going away. It is really behind the scenes. You need to know it is so much further advanced than the public has seen yet. There are products being created. AI stuff is being created for every single industry at the present moment. It is already being used in all kinds of places inside this industry that people don't know about yet, but you will find out as we go. So here's my advice. Jump in as soon as you can, because it's going to make a tremendous difference, both in your writing and in your understanding of what's going on in this industry, plus the speed at which you can create. Now, again, I'm going to say this. I really, truly believe this. AI is not going to replace writers. That's not what this is about. So if you're worried about that, you can relax and know that it's a tool, just like Final Draft software didn't replace writers. It's a tool to help you be the best you can be. Now, the timeline. We had the WGA strike, and we completely honored this, by the way. I was 100% behind the WGA. I actually love the deal that they got and how it's structured and what it will do. The ultimate deal, actually, the words said, the studios basically can't use AI to replace the writer in any way, but writers can use AI. So just know that the actual deal said writers can use AI. In the present, writers are starting to learn AI right now. And again, I'm going to say it's somewhere between 5 to 10% of writers are starting to learn it. In the future, the entire industry will be using it. You still can get ahead of things. You still can come in with an advantage if you master this. So what it looks like today, they're the critics, of course. And and every time I do one of these, I get at least 2 or 3 emails from critics who are like, how could you be teaching AI? And it's like, you know what? In my world, we've been working with AI since the day it was introduced, since the day ChatGPT 3.5 was introduced to the public. We've been working with it and designing ways that screenwriters could use it to brainstorm more effectively. So in my world, they're in the past. They are so far in the past. Then we have the adventurers who are stepping out, trying things, who are testing it, and trying to use some of the things. And then we have the pros, and the pros actually are just now starting to experiment with it. And the reason why, of course, was the WGA strike. During that period of time, the pros were staying away from AI because there was no deal and they were not going to support anything having to do with it. The question is, where are things going? And again, we've been designing since before these critics even heard about it. We've been designing things for this industry to help writers be able to do things. So let me just say one more thing, and then I'll give you a quick demonstration. The difference between trying AI versus being a pro, it really comes down to 2 things. It comes down to the quality of the prompts and strategies. And a prompt means, how do you ask AI to do something? If you ask AI to brainstorm a character and you just say those words, it's going to brainstorm something. I don't know where it's going to go for you, and neither do you, and neither does AI. But if you create a prompt that actually makes it something that is an incredibly interesting character, I'll show you one in just a moment, that it has all kinds of different layers to that character, that it delivers on multiple levels, that the character is intriguing. If you create a prompt that will do that, which I've created lots of those, you'll see a completely different character. And if you have the strategies to be able to work with it, that will have it produce the kind of results you want. And this is the problem that most people are having. They don't have either the prompts or the strategies that will get them where they want to be. And And you can start asking yourself right now, it's like, what will happen when you do have those? And then we need to be operating out of the future professional level TV model, not, what's in the present. So again, if you look out there, you can find things that will tell you to do certain things. In my opinion, they're all in the past. I haven't seen one yet that I went, wow. It's, and this is our purpose. Our purpose is to create the next level. Now I've got two development teams, two behind the scenes of screenwriters that are all professional level screenwriters. They're all being paid. And they've had scripts optioned and movies made and stuff like that, and TV series. We've got those behind the scenes, and then I've got a programming team behind the scenes that is also working with us, that we pay. And that's all I'm trying to do. All I'm doing is creating the next level. So let me show you this so you can see it. Just a moment here. Okay. So you should be looking at ChatGPT right now. And for those who haven't seen it, this is one of the forms of AI that's out there. There are actually multiple forms that are out there. There are three that we recommend. ChatGPT is one of them. We'll tell you the others when we're in class. But this gives you a chance to be able to create things. And I'm going to show you right now an example of that so that you can see. Let's say what you're trying to do is to create a character. And hang on just a second. I just want to make sure of something. Just a moment here. There we go. So you're trying to create a character. I'm going to plug in a prompt here that's going to give some information. It's going to give a couple of pieces of information about these characters. And, this is the information I'm giving about the characters, but what makes it work is everything else that I put in above that. So I want you to just see what it's creating for me right now. If you look at this, this is one of the characters. I gave it two pieces of information, two sentences, and then ask it to create something for a particular story. So it's comparing the character to the concept, to the story, to the conflict, right? And it's gone through and it's told us, here's her moral purpose. Here's what makes her unpredictable. Here's what makes her empathetic. Here are a bunch of intrigue layers that you could use as you're writing. Here's the emotional depth for this character. Now, you may or may not agree with all of these things, but what happens then is you pull it out and you go, let's see, what do I like about what they came up with? And there may be some things in here you go, wow, that's amazing. I hadn't thought of that. You keep those. You also notice which ones don't you like, right? Like this says, triggers, memories of her past failure. I'd say that's pretty vague. I don't know what that is, right? So I would go to the specific thing. What is the exact thing that triggers her? But here's the thing. Using this and seeing the part that I didn't like gave me a chance to elevate it based on how I see this character. Now, I just want you to take a look at this. Here's the second character, and I'm not going to spend time on them. Here's the third, and here's the fourth. I asked it to create 4 characters for us, and it did that. And actually, the fourth is going to have a little bit more coming up right now. But what I'm showing you is how AI can help you brainstorm, how it can help you create something at another level. Now, let's take it a step further. So now you've seen how it can help you create characters. And by the way, we've got models for having it create all kinds of forms of characters that would help you be able to do what you want to do. But let's now have it create our structure. So again, There are lots of things you can do when we're talking about, like on this. I just want you to again see you, if you're going into your characters, and especially if you have a TV series and you have all these layers, and you have all this emotional depth, and you have this predictability and the things that make them empathetic, you've got the start of a character that could do so well in TV, right? Now then, let's go down here. I just had it create a 5-act structure. And you'll see it starts with a teaser. Here's the teaser. Here's the scene. Here's the twist, right? So this is going to give you at least a structure, an idea of thinking about this. If you have no idea what your pilot's going to be like, you can make use of this. It'll give you then, here's the second act, right? Here's the third act. Here's here's the third act. Here's the fourth act. And finally, here's the fifth act that ends with a cliffhanger. Now, in this case, what we're actually doing is I'm asking it to brainstorm something so then I can start playing with it and working with it. I'm not, again, asking it to write my scenes or to write the show or something like that. Again, I would now go back and look and say, okay, do I like this opening scene? Is this what I want it to be? And by the way, do I like this twist? And how can I make it stronger? And if I need to, I could go back to AI and ask it for 10 different ways to make this twist stronger. There are so many different things that you can do, but I'm going to tell you, if you don't have these high-level prompts, if you haven't figured that out, it's just going to be a thing where you're spending a lot of time kind of looking at it, trying to figure out what the next thing is, you'll spend months trying to figure out what I can give you in 5 minutes. And I know that because we spent months trying to figure it out. Every prompt that you see here, every strategy that we built into this, we tried 30, 40 different ways before we found one that absolutely worked. So let me take it one step further so you can see this next level. So here I ask it to brainstorm the 8 episodes. And in this case, I'm asking it to give us a teaser for each episode, the main character journey, the main character conflict, the midpoint, the action, reaction, and the cliffhanger for each episode. So I ask it to give us 8 episodes, and I gave it specific ways I wanted it to do it. Here's the 8 episodes of the first season. And, it's still creating part of this down here, but just notice what you can accomplish in about a minute to 2 minutes. It's incredible. And it can help you think through things. It can help you see things in a different way. It can give you versions that you had never thought of. When you're thinking about thinking outside the box, this is all thinking outside the box. But it's starting with my concept and my project, right? I give it certain information about my project and then ask it to extrapolate. And that in and of itself can give you all kinds of ideas that you might not have had. Again, the things that are incorrect, you just take them out, put in what you like. The things that you look at and you go, wow, you adopt them, you bring them in and have them be part of how you create. So we just did 3 of those. Let's see. I took you through how to create a character profile that is deep, that has multiple layers, that has all kinds of intrigue built into it, how to then create a pilot structure so that in about 2 minutes, you have a complete pilot structure and you can go through and start working with it and playing with it. And then how to create the first 8 episodes so you have an idea where your first season goes. That's 3 of 50 different prompts and strategies that we use in this program. So let me just kind of walk you through some of the others that are coming up, because this is really important. What we did was we took the highest level screenwriting class that we have out there, Binge-Worthy TV. This is the one that almost all the TV shows that are binge-worthy at the present moment are making use of. We designed this about 2.5 years ago. And I had some amazing people from different shows that were on it. We had somebody from NBC Universal that was part of the development team as we designed it. But I'm going to show you both. I'm going to show you 5 modules here, what we do in the class, and then what's the AI component. And the AI component, with every one of these lessons, everything I'm going to show you, you use it first so that you learn it and you get your creativity into it. Then you take what you've created, you go to AI and see how it can brainstorm and extrapolate beyond that. So in module 1, you're going to be designing your binge-worthy show. This is the part that almost everybody leaves out. Most people either have an idea and they just start writing a pilot, or they have an idea and some of them create a TV Bible. The last survey that we did, what we found was that 90% plus don't create a TV Bible until after they've written everything. I don't think that's the best strategy. The best strategy is to design your program up front, design that entire thing before you even start. And this is what we did. I went to showrunners and I asked them how they create. And basically what they told me was they spend a lot of time brainstorming before they start locking anything in and before they start writing anything. So you're going to brainstorm your 50 most important decisions before you even start writing this show. These are things like your concept, your characters, where the show is going to go, what's the main thing that's intriguing about it, how do we keep audiences deeply engaged. These 50 most important decisions make the difference as to whether you win the contest or whether you get an agent or manager. You leave these out, you're toast. And that's, again, like we just had somebody who won one of the big contests. She went through this class. She said this is one of the things that changed everything for her. She had written 2 TV pilots before that never even made it to the semifinals. She ended up winning a contest that had over 5,000 people that had signed up. And she ended up getting a manager who absolutely loves her and has taken her into the industry right now. And it was because of this. So you're going to figure these out. Then you're going to go over to AI and have AI brainstorm other versions of it and use what you think is best. In the midst of that, you'll brainstorm and design what I call a binge-worthy framework. And what this is it's kind of a cheat sheet for your show that gives you everything you need to remember about these characters, about the seasons, about the episodes for the first season, everything you need to remember that makes your show great. Now, with that, then you'll come over to AI, you'll brainstorm a marketable concept. This is one of the 50 decisions. You will brainstorm an intriguing world. This is another of the 50 most important decisions. Then you'll brainstorm full character profiles, the mysteries and the layers, all of this fits in. The engaging setups for future episodes, and you'll brainstorm deep irony. And every one of these, this is actually what this is about, 10 of the 50 decisions. There's 40 more. Every one of these decisions will make your show better before you even write a word. So by the time you start writing, it's not just inspiration. You will also have confidence that your show really has a chance. Then we go to module 2, where you're going to create your TV pitch Bible. And here, this is, by the way, your pitch Bible is your most important pitch document. When producers request anything from you, they're either going to request your pilot or your pitch Bible, one of the two. And whichever they request, if they love that one, they'll request the other. So if you're going out to pitch something right now and you don't have a TV Bible for it that's strong and fits what today's standards are, you're in trouble. You know, what would happen if you had a better TV pitch Bible than anything you've ever seen out there? And that's what's possible in this situation. It absolutely needs to be a page turner. You know, there's so many people out there writing pitch Bibles, looking at the versions from before the streamers and thinking that's okay. They just don't work. That was before the streamers. Once the streamers came in, this process got it got redesigned in a way that is kind of standardized. So what we did was we went to the funding sources and we went to the streamers and asked them what they needed. And out of that, we built a TV pitch Bible that does exactly what they need. So here, you're going to create your show pitch. You're going to make sure that everything they read is highly compelling. You'll design your first season episodes and put them in, and you'll have the 5 escalating seasons so you can show a producer all of those. Also, everything we did from module 1 will influence what's in here. You're going to have your characters that came from module 1 from the brainstorming that we did. You will build them in the most interesting and unique way to make sure that they are incredibly interesting when somebody looks at them. By the time anybody reads your pitch Bible, they're going to say, you're an absolute pro. And that's really important. Then it's about writing, right? And when we write, we're going to start with a brilliantly complex pilot outline. Now, there's a bunch of reasons why we do this. One of them is because what any producer is going to expect to see from you is something that's professional. And that means that there are 5 layers of depth. I will tell you from the last contest that we created one that had TV shows presented. 95% of what was submitted to us had only 2 layers of depth. And most people were writing with a surface layer and then 1 layer of meaning beneath that. So the pros are writing at 5 layers of depth. Our projects are at 5 layers of depth. And when you create your pilot outline, you're going to build all 5 of those layers into it. So you'll create with AI, you'll use it to create your pilot structure, which you just saw us do. And then you'll work with it. You're not going to stay with what AI gives you. You're going to create something. You'll then create a pilot outline. You will then build 5 layers of depth into that outline, right? So you will end up with an outline that when you read it, it will be the best TV document you have ever read. I think our outlines are substantially better than anything I've found online so far. And it's because I spent a lot of time interviewing showrunners to find out exactly what they needed. So from there, we'll go to module 4. Now you're going to write that pilot. And on this, it is not a thing of we're just going to kind of cut you loose and go, okay, go write your pilot, come back to us, and those kinds of things. You're going to be guided all the way through. First thing, you're going to learn high-speed writing rules. And these came because this industry is built around high-speed writing. Once you're inside a writer's room, once you're working with a producer, there's going to be deadlines, and you need to be able to speed up when necessary. It doesn't mean you're always going to write at a high speed, but do you have a model for this yet? And what I found 3 years ago when we were creating this, I went, wait a minute, I don't have a model. I know there are times where I'm on deadline and I write at a higher speed, but what's the model for doing it? So I went out and interviewed 25 writers who are incredible at being able to get things done at speeds you wouldn't believe. We have people, lots and lots of people who have written scripts in 10 days for producers. And I'm talking professional level stuff in 10 days. So I interviewed them to find out, how do you do that? How do you think at that speed? How do you create at that speed? You're going to love once you learn this particular model. Then you're going to write 5 drafts of your pilot. And some people may go, oh my God, 5 drafts in 30 days? I'm going to do that. Yeah. And by the way, because you have the high-speed writing and because we've already designed this in a way so that you're coming in with an outline that's incredible, you absolutely can do this. We will focus every draft on something that you need in order to be a pro. At that point, you will write the best script of your life, really. And by the time you're done and you stand back and look at it, you'll go, oh my God. If you're working with a writers group right now, and let's pretend you're the worst writer in that group, by the time you get to this point and you hand this script over to them to have them read, they're going to look at you in awe, and they're going to see you as the best writer in that group. You will know things they've never thought of, and you will understand things at such a much higher level, and you will understand what goes beneath the surface, what makes a script great, and how do you do it. Now, having to do with AI, we're using AI in that situation to find solutions to common problems that keep pilots from selling. And again, I have spent a massive amount of time on this. We have read so many pilots that didn't make it to find out what were those problems, right? And a lot of the problems, by the way, were in there from the second draft on. And the writer just didn't see them. So if any of your pilots haven't made it yet, when you get to this, you will find solutions that will change things for you and will give you the chance to be able to up your game in a huge way. We'll also use AI to double the quality of your best work. And this doesn't mean AI is going to write it for you. What this means is AI is going to go through it with some very specific instructions and look to see where are the opportunities to make this better. And the ones that you agree with, you'll make use of them. By the way, let me just tell you up front, having worked extensively with AI, with writing, if you don't agree with something AI says, don't spend even a second thinking about it. Just say no to it and go on to something that it said that was good. And so we have a whole bunch of philosophies that are built into this that can help you succeed in that way. Now, finally, in Module 5, here, you are going to create your 4 pitches. And again, this is one of those places where a lot of people have real difficulty creating pitches. We have a model that makes it so easy for you. And especially when we add in the AI part of it. So first, there are 4 different pitches. And if you're just going in with one, like I just had somebody who came back from, they had done an online pitch fest. And the lady came back and she said, the writers told me to do this. So I spent 5 minutes telling the producer my story. He nodded a lot. And then at the end said, sorry, it's not for me. And I was horrified that she did what they told her to do, because she could have pitched in a way that would have had him say yes. She had a project that was sellable, but she did it in an old-fashioned way from back in the 1960s or 70s, that I would not use today. So we have 4 specific pitches that you should be able to adjust, right? If you see somebody's not liking it, you should be able to make a change right then and deal with it. We have the elevator pitch. This is the one that if all you have is 10 seconds and you need to say something to hook a producer, you have it. We have the query letter, which is basically a short synopsis filled with hooks. Its whole purpose is to hook a producer into requesting your project. We have the phone pitch, and this one we're pros at. This is how Cheryl and I, my wife and I, when we were producing, this is how we got projects. We got 35 different projects into 60 major production companies. And we did it all with a very short phone pitch that made it easy for them to say yes and request it. This will change your life if you have even the slightest amount of willingness to get on the phone. You will have a phone pitch that makes it easy for them to see you as a pro. And then finally, we have the Zoom or the in-person pitch. This is the one that if they say you have 3 minutes, you go right to this. If they say you have 5 minutes, this is where you go still. If they tell you that you only have a minute, and this happened to me one time, I went in to meet with the president of this company, and they said, we'll honor your appointment, but you only have 1 minute. I went straight back to my phone pitch and did a 1 minute pitch, and the president of that company requested that project immediately. So this gives you strategies to be able to use in pretty much any kind of pitching situation. You should never go into a pitch without knowing exactly what you're going to pitch and how many different ways you could pitch it. So once you have these, by the way, you're going to create these in this module. Once you have these, then it's just something you practice for 15 minutes with another writer, and then go out and do your pitches. You'll love what it does. We'll also walk you through how to build a network of producers, agents, and managers. And what this does is allows you to first build a network in advance, and then second, use all of this pitching that you're doing to continue to build that network. Now, over with AI, you're going to learn how to create these pitches in seconds. And again, we've designed it in a way where you fill in specific information, you go to AI, it'll create a version for you. If there's something that's not working, you'll know exactly what to do and how to get it to create the version that you do need. Once you have that, then you'll go through and work with them until it's something that's so comfortable for you. Because when you're pitching, you should be comfortable. So this is going to become second nature to you by the time we're done with this, and that will change everything. You won't be afraid of pitching anymore. You won't be afraid you don't know what to say or any of those kinds of things. You'll have everything you need, including answers to their most common questions. So if you've never thought of actually how to get your project out there, this will change everything for you. So our whole purpose on this was to make it really easy for you to be able to brainstorm outside the box, which, by the way, is real creativity. A lot of times people create something and then they get locked into the first draft and they start editing it, right? It's like, don't do that. Use all the tools we're going to give you. You brainstorm outside the box. You find better and stronger ways. You use the ones that you love. You delete the ones that you don't. You don't have to worry about that. And when you go in the door talking to producers, they're going to go, oh my God, you're incredibly creative, and that's part of it. The other part is what AI does on this is it makes sure that you'll never be stuck again, right? If you think of all the time that you spend going, I can't figure this out. What if that just disappeared and you had all kinds of solutions to it, right? What if you never experienced being stuck again for more than 30 seconds to a minute, right? How would that change your writing? And then the other part of this is the reason we use AI on this and the reason we use this particular model, and it's the model that we're going to AI with, is because it helps us discover layers of character and plot that fascinate readers. So you are going way beyond where most people create, right? That's the whole purpose of what we're doing, is to create beyond where you've ever gone before. Now, this doesn't make you less of a writer. I'm going to tell you, my development teams, after 4 months of working with this, I asked them, how would they compare who they were before with who they are now from a creativity perspective? Every single one of them said they were more creative. And they said part of why they were more creative was because they started getting used to stepping outside the box, right? They also, because they were never stuck again, they were just focused on creating. So it's like we took away the painful part and we made it something that where you flourish, where you have fun, where you enjoy every single bit of what you're doing as a writer. So, this is just stuff having to do with this. We basically have 50 AI strategies that the industry doesn't know yet. And that's because we've been creating them since January. And we have tried and tested so many things. What going through our program is going to take you to a whole different level. You're going to learn high-level TV skills. You are going to use the skills as you create them. You are going to use the AI prompts to brainstorm outside the box on a regular basis. You are going to make the best decisions and then write. So imagine, what if you went through this with every part of this program? Now, let me just take you to one more thing here. Our objective is to have you master AI before the industry does. And that means that you essentially will come in as an expert when they're still trying to understand it. This, by the way, is going to bring your writing to a level that's so much higher than you've ever experienced before. So you may be wondering, what's it take to do this? And I'd be asking this question, what would happen if I mastered all of these skills and was able to use AI competently with each one, right? What's possible for my own creativity? What's possible for my writing? And by the way, what's possible for my future as a writer? Does it make a difference for you if you start winning contests and being finalist in contest? And I'll say, yeah, that gives you a lot of credibility. Does it make a difference for you if you have your TV show optioned? Yes, that gets you in way more doors. And if you do all of this and you go through the process and you learn every bit of this, you have a much, much stronger chance that you actually could get something made. So this could change everything for you. Plus, I promise you, if you are writing books, if you're writing feature films, the skills you're going to learn here and the strategies you're going to learn are going to double the quality of what you're writing in those areas. It will make so much of a difference. Normal price on this is $12.99. I'm going to give you a special. The class actually starts on January 8th. So that gives you a week and a half to brainstorm ideas. And we'll send you, by the way, as soon as you sign up, a how to brainstorm concepts for TV shows. There's some important things that you need to know. And once you have that, you can start brainstorming concepts, come up with as many as you can in between now and then. And then on January 8th, you'll pick the one you like the best, and that's the one you take through this program. If for some reason you need to change it, you absolutely can. I would just pick what you think is the best and just go with it. So the normal price on this is $12.99. Again, it starts on January 8th. Right now you can get in, let's see, we can give you a special at $724. I think that gives you like $450 off the price. And that's the price that we had before we added all this AI stuff. So you are getting into a class that already was the best TV class that I know of. And now you're going to get a chance to do that and learn 50 high-level AI strategies and prompts that will take your writing to a whole different level and have you be at the forefront of what's going on with the writing world. If you need a payment plan, you just click this button and it'll get you in at $130 a month for 6 months. Now, I think that's like there's an extra $30 or $40 added on for the payment plan. But whichever you need to be able to do it, just jump in. I promise you, this class will change your writing and your creativity for the rest of your life. It'll be something that you will look back and you'll say, my whole writing, everything I did before this, everything I did after, what I did after was at a much higher level. So again, and for the price that we're talking about here, basically it comes down to about the equivalent of a Big Mac a day. And, and it's much more healthy. It's like the price of, going to Starbucks just by yourself and getting one coffee. And for that, you can get in, and every day you're going to be learning. Every day you're going to be growing. Every day you're going to be seeing writing in a whole new way. So if that's appealing to you and you'd like to become an absolutely great writer, come join us. I promise you, you will love what this program does for you. Just ask yourself, what would happen if I mastered these skills, learned every step of this process, and had 50 high-level strategies for working with AI that took me to a level I can't even imagine right now? What would that be like for you? So come join us. I promise you, you are going to love what you learn in this program. You're going to love what it does for you. With that, I want to say thank you for being with me today. I hope this was eye-opening for you. I hope it was valuable. And I promise you, if you join us for this program, every lesson of this program, you will learn something that will help you move forward. And by the time you're done, you'll be at a completely different level. With that, this is Hal Croasmun, wishing you the absolute best with your writing. Bye-bye, everyone.